Ebusuafo ne ahwefo e mo bi akobade ba Unidek TV so send the dey kan obodi answer betumi emi subscribe button so no subscribe na for like na wetumi a share no we comment was ne betumi.
You know, it's your boy Captain to the Planet. I'm here to talk to you about Unidek TV. Please subscribe to Unidek TV. Subscribe.
26 questions. They say Gran Canaria be very deadly place.
We need to become a lot more serious.
Oh, Charlie.
Actually, Airmed released a statement, Godfrey.
Wonderful.
When?
Yeah. So this was.
Thank you for that because I didn't see.
When?
3rd April.
Oh, correct. Please read it for me.
So we stopped at KIA over maintenance issues. So Airmed International response to drug trafficking allegations. So story says Airmed International and Air Ambulance and Medical Transport Company at the center of allegations made by Member of Parliament for Ascent South, Rev Ntim Fordjour, has clarified that its stop at Kotoka International Airport was due to maintenance issues, refuting any links to drug trafficking. Thank you. The global medical company stated that it made multiple fuel stops, including one at Kotoka International Airport, where it encountered problems.
Yeah.
It was reported that a second aircraft carrying replacement parts, supplies, and technicians was dispatched and later arrived at KIA. Quote, upon landing in Ghana, the aircraft experienced maintenance issues and a second aircraft was dispatched with replacement parts, supplies, and technicians. Airmed International Aircraft N823AM made multiple stops for fuel, including a stop at Kotoka International Airport. Now, Airmed expressed confidence that their flights did not engage in any illegal activity as speculated. The company further stated that it has documentations and flight details to support its claims, emphasizing its certainty in being vindicated.
You recognize, though, that this was drowned
by.
And I think your point is still valid because you see, Airmed issues a statement on April 3, and honestly, on this table, if it wasn't that our producer had highlighted that there was a statement, we didn't have even known. That's number one. Because all of us also followed the minister's response. Number two, Ghana Airport Company too didn't issue a statement. They probably did, but again, it got drowned. And I think the point about, because you're right, if Airmed had issued a statement like we've seen now, Ghana Airport Company issues a statement, and even the minister doesn't get involved, it may not have even escalated to that point. Because sometimes the response is action and reaction are directly called the opposite. So the level of response, so I've seen Omanebo Ama post something on this. Then we had some NDC big shots also jumping on it. So it sort of raises the profile of the thing to a point where, like, wow, UN is like, hey, what's going on here? You get it? So if from Airmed issued a simple statement, and then civil aviation or airport company had said that, look, there's nothing to this, and that people should verify before they put some things out, it would probably have downplayed it, and then it would have gotten sort of whatever. But now it's gotten to a point where, like, the weekend, every story, everybody was discussing it on all the front pages, and you are right, there's a way in which that tarnishes the country's image, even if it's not true. Because by the time you get to the bottom of it, most people don't read the details. And Christine was saying, look, we should not go back to where we were in the past, where Ghana was actually seen as a notorious hub, and that Ghana has passed that stage. But this type of reportage and this type of politicization of the drug issues can easily take Ghana back to that area. And I really think it's important we highlight the point that nobody benefits from giving Ghana a bad name. Which is why, again, I agree with Christian in that if you are also an interior committee, because of the privileged position you are in, the platform you choose to articulate your points.
Matters.
You get it? So he's saying he's a whistleblower. Some people say he's just cutting attention. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, where maybe he has some information which there could have been another way of putting out, but also because of the times you're in and the way the NPP wants to also do some politics, they decide to go all out with it. And then this is like, this guy has no facts, so let's also show him that he's a liar. Then it's all become, and NPP is now saying, no, let's not leave our guy to hang out in the drive. So let's come and support him. Do you get it? So it's escalating something which really should not get to this level.
My issue with this is that I feel like the logic of the whole discourse is faulty. In the sense that you see a drug bust happen, and your conclusion is that drug trafficking is on the rise. What's the possible, like, how is that the conclusion? Because for all you know, the way these things work, maybe it's because enforcement has gotten better. Why are we not looking? You see, so I feel like even the way it was, the narrative that was created just didn't make sense to start to me. That's why I agree with Godfrey that has been a waste of time. But mine is a different issue. Like, how did we even get here? Why didn't the people who responded simply say that actually our enforcement efforts have gotten better? That's why we are doing it. Because that's a reasonable response if someone says, oh, you are catching people, so it's on their right.
But I still don't forget that the president also tweeted, and that also probably added to this. Because the president said he takes allegations
seriously.
Because the guy had claimed that the 2 aircraft potentially contained cocaine.
Yeah.
And the president said that he's going to ask the guy to cooperate with.
Yeah.
So that raises the profile.
Yeah. But you see, my whole thing was that the way the whole thing came, I felt like the response, like you said, it felt disproportionate. Because if the guy said it, all the simple thing to do is that we can just argue, because right now it's become politics. Because they are not actually, because this discussion doesn't seem serious to me. Seriously, because how does it that a plane lands and your conclusion is that because the plane is coming from here, there's cocaine on the plane? Because
two suspicious flights.
Do you understand what is the basis of his suspicion? Like,
is the country the country of origin of the plane?
Is that what we are going to?
Planes should not land in Ghana from Colombia.
No,
that's what we are going.
Because Colombia too has drugs.
No,
no place from Colombia should land in Ghana.
But it's also because of the coincidence of the 315 million. You see, this is what I'm saying, that there are three. You see, this is how news develops, and we also learn from this. 2 planes have arrived in a country from a place which has some reputation. It wasn't a public issue. It wasn't necessarily something you should highlight. Within that week, there was a report in the news about the authorities seizing a 350 million worth of cocaine.
$350 million.
On the road to Cape Coast, Takrady,
almost 4 tons.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. It happened within the same week. Then there was the February 9 gold.
Yeah.
For counterfeit. So the MP then says, look, why all these things happening at the same time? What's the government hiding? Ghana has become... So he's put the thing together and he's created...
I get it, but I'm talking about the plane part specifically. And the second thing that confused me is he saying that every private plane that lands, there's something... Because what is he trying to say about the private plane security at Kotoka? That people can just bring whatever they want on private planes. You see, if that's where we are going, we have a bigger problem than 2 planes coming with drugs. Because it means that anyone or anybody can just hire a private plane and do what they want in Ghana. So for me, the whole logic of the thing for me was just very weak.
Yeah.
And I felt like Godfrey said, this has spiraled into a situation it should not have spiraled into, because the whole thing just felt like he was just saying it, right? Yeah. Because if you have serious allegations of drug trafficking, it's not suspicious flights. You will see that this and this reason, this and this, there was a known drug trafficker on the plane.
When pressed him on this on CNN, he said he has more information that he released.
No, but I'm saying...
So Sanda actually wanted... So Sanda was like, what else can you give me? And it was like, I will decide when I'll put it out.
But you see, once you start this way, you look like you are joking. Because it's a very serious thing. It's not a TV show that you expose. Which is why MPP is now saying that they will do a press conference. You know what I'm saying? It's not a TV show that... No, but you see, it's not a TV show that you do some small, you hint at things, you'll be making some characters stand in the back and they'll show him on their camera and we later know. It doesn't... This is serious matter. If you are saying that you are so concerned about the security of this country, why are you playing games with it? Bring all the evidence, show us what the issue is so we can say that, oh, this is the situation. Because if he had said, for example, this known drug trafficker was on this flight from Gran Canaria and he landed here.
Yes, that's a different...
That's a very different situation to some suspicious flight. Who was on the flight? Do you get what I'm saying? It's just, the thing is so vague.
It's tenuous.
Yeah, like, it just felt like there was a lot of holes in what he was saying.
Do you think generally the media coverage has contributed to the fact?
Of course.
Because what happens is that this is what we tend to do. And I blame all of us, because sometimes when the issue breaks, we just want political voices to back our side. So, Ntim Fordjour says something, put it out. Kwachi responds to put it out. So social media is like buzzing. So instead of somebody coming to say, look, we've called the airport company, we've called the company Airmed, and this is not really. And by the way, when you do that, MPP guys say, you two are trying to protect the government. So a lot of media posts stay away from scrutiny, which actually was happening. So what tends to happen is that we basically report 2 sides of
an argument,
and then we'll go and sleep.
But we don't actually think about whether the argument is worth it.
Because we are afraid that they will say, oh, we are taking one side, and because the politicians are so very carefully, they are very political. So a lot of media just reports what the 2 sides say, and depending on how it goes, let the public decide what they want to do in that confusion. You get, so I think part of it is our fault as well.
You know, but for
and
me,
to be fair to Airmed, because it's an ambulance, they probably don't want to say who was on board, what was happening, because it's an ambulance. You don't want to review certain information, but unless there's some information, like I said, you say you review information, but I feel like I said, if you had reviewed some of these things which are so important earlier, we would be having a more intelligent discussion. Because right now we're just saying, why have we been talking about this?
Trust me, if we don't take care, this week will be dominated by more of this.
But that is why because
there's a press conference today.
Nobody should attend that press conference.
They will go.
See, Bernard, I want to be very clear. Ntim Fordjour was irresponsible with the power that he's been given. You see, if there was substance to the allegations that he was making, if he understands the chair that he sits in, that press conference is not what he would have done. Even in substantiating it and defending the position, and he's been very steadfast in doing it, but he's even taking a very light-hearted approach. He's been dropping quotes. If I wanted to do that, I would have dropped a hit song. Come on. Look, the business of governing a country, the business of overseeing the security of a country is in your hands. You don't take it and play political football with it to get yours. And where I said, he saw an opportunity to become relevant for a week, and he took it. I mean him no disrespect. But he must be told in clear terms to be more responsible, because, again, I look at the allegations that he's made, and they're spurious. To make an allegation like that as a ranking member of one of the most important parliamentary committees that this country has, the threshold must be far higher
than what is put
up. Basically, he was gossiping. That is what he sat at that press conference and did, and then went on a media round to basically blow up his gossip. We should not allow politics to get us to the point where people we have entrusted a certain level of respect. Otherwise, he doesn't understand the responsibility he has been given. Perhaps he's the wrong kind of person for the committee that he's on. I'm not saying he's a bad MP. I'm simply saying that the role that he has been given is one that requires a lot more discretion, a lot more tact and subtlety that he doesn't seem to have.
The conclusion that Ghana has become a cocaine hub on the basis of those three instances is it's like a very big jump.
You cannot make those conclusions from where he sits
without more
hardcore information. And look, if that is how he would treat information, so basically, I'm sure based on where somebody saw the plane, it had landed. He says, "Oh, okay, Honorable, I have seen some plane B, it has landed." Look, even based on where he sits, he could have had access to more hardcore information if he really wanted to help by making certain demands. He would get it. So he's the ranking member.
File an RTI or something
immediately
and get more information. And then when you put everything together, it will be more.
You see, because in the end, the questions one will ask: when did you hear of this? So would you say that your responsibility was to make sure that the cocaine was not transited, or your responsibility was to make claims that Ghana is a cocaine hub? Because if you are on the security and interior, on the defense and interior committee, and you have information that a plane has landed and is potentially carrying drugs, what do?
You call the
intelligence community, you call police and make sure that those drugs don't make it off. The human beings are arrested, and then you can organize your press conference and say that this is what I heard, these are the actions I took, and Ghana needs to be careful.
Yeah, that would have been a better approach.
That is a better approach. That shows somebody who understands what he's been given. But what Ntim Fordjour did, for those who have been praising him and whatnot, where I sit, I am grossly disappointed in what he did. And he needs to be told. He's been very irresponsible. But the MP people can hail him. They can clap for him because he's giving them something to run on for a week, which is why we're having a press conference with 26 questions. And again, I ask myself, if this is what leads to 26 questions, I really want to hear those 26 questions. And the person who sat down and wrote those 26 questions too, he will look at you and think of you in a certain manner.
But you haven't seen that.
No, but Bernard, there is, from what Susu said, what 26 questions can be derived from this logic? They should think about it themselves. Look, they should hold themselves to a higher standard. We are tired.
Abusuafo ne ahwefo emu bi akobade ba Unidek TV so send the ID kan obedi answer betumi emi subscribe button no so no subscribe na for like na wetumi a share no we ja comment was ne betumi
boy Captain to the Planet. I'm here to talk to you about Unidek TV. Please subscribe to Unidek TV. Subscribe.